Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we give you guys the up-to-date news on the Baltimore Ravens every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube if you're not yet subscribed for the best Baltimore Raven videos on the internet. We're going to hop right into our show. The first topics we have are Pollard speaking out about the Ravens' woes. We're going to talk about the offensive improvement that John Harbaugh sees coming. We're going to talk about Terrence West's role in the offense, the mailbag question of the day, and the comment of the day. And the last two, you guys can get involved by dropping a mailbag question and a comment on every single topic. I will pick a mailbag question, and I'll pick a comment, and I'll read it on tomorrow's episode. So put your mailbag question now. Now let's hop into the very first topic of the day. It's about Bernard Pollard. He's made some statements that are strong, blaming John Harbaugh for the team's losing. This was a strong statement. If you guys don't know who Bernard Pollard is, he was an ex-Baltimore Raven. A couple of years ago, was on the team when we won a Super Bowl. And he's a strong player. He hits hard. He speaks hard. He's one of those guys. He's a great leader in the locker room, but other players don't want to see him across the field. And basically what he's saying is that John Harbaugh's ego is at fault for why the Ravens are kind of on a down spiral here. He said that Harbaugh, his ego drove out some of the best players in Baltimore, and now he has to coach. And Pollard saying he's not a good coach. And this all started from a discussion, a meeting that was like an all hands on deck meeting, where the newspapers and ESPN said basically there was a mutiny in the Ravens locker room. And so this all happened and everything happened. And then the next season, Ed Reed, who was part of it, wasn't on the team, and Pollard, who was part of it, wasn't on the team. And hey, it happens. It's football. I don't know who to agree with. They both have valid points. Harbaugh has a valid point because he's the coach. Harbaugh is the leader. Harbaugh is the guy who, helps choose who comes in and who plays, and who schemes and who does all that. However, Bernard Pollard is right. We're seeing John Harbaugh struggle without the strong leadership of players like Ray Lewis, without the strong leadership of players like Ed Reed. And is that specifically because of them? Who knows? I don't think so personally, but it could be. So they both have points. I would be inclined to go with Harbaugh just because I do believe the coach is the last say. But again, Pollard says the reason we're losing is Harbaugh's fault. I don't like losing, so if Steve thinks that's true, he has to make a move, but I don't think that's going to happen. Harbaugh is here. He's the coach. So sorry, Pollard, but I think Harbaugh is here to stay. The next news of the day actually deals with Harbaugh. And Harbaugh stated in his interview that he has no doubt that the offense can be successful for the rest of the season. And this is a situation where I look at John Harbaugh and I say, hey, John, stop peeing on my leg and telling me it's raining, because we both know that you're lying to us. Everyone can see that offense and see that we have a promising left tackle. We have a promising running back. And that's it. I don't, what else do you have on that team right now? Oh, sorry, and a promising center. I love the way Ryan Jensen is playing. So that's what you have. And other than that, everything else seems to be a fault. Offensive line is struggling as a whole. Again, Stanley and Jensen are playing well, but as a whole, the offensive line is struggling. The tight ends are struggling. Again, guys have to understand that Joe Flacco threw the ball to Dennis Pitta 88 times last season. Dennis Pitta had 88 receptions. Okay, Max Williams through all these games, through 8 games, has 5. And now he's been injured. Nick Boyle, who's been injured less, has 4, right? So it's not that the scheme isn't throw it to the tight end. It's the fact that they don't get open. And that's just the truth of it. And that's why the only time you see Max Williams and Nick Boyle with the ball is on screen plays, because they can't get open down the field. That's the honest truth. At the receiver position, after your top two who have not been playing excellent the entire season, you have trash. To be honest, you have bust. Campanero, not good. He's not going to be on the team next year. Perriman, not going to be on the team. Well, he might be on the team. I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself. I'm sorry, but he's not playing well. And so this is not a one-time thing, John. So you can say whatever you want, but plugging Danny Woodhead isn't going to change this whole team around. And if it does, then I'll tell you I'm wrong. But it's not. This is a bigger deal. You might even need a new offensive coordinator. So this is a big deal, and I don't think it'd be improved overnight. It'll be improved next season, but Harbaugh and his boys have to do the homework to get the great players in so we can actually win some games, and that's what I'm hoping they do. So let me know in the comments below, do you think that the offense is going to improve this season? I would love to hear you guys' opinion. We're going to move to the third topic, which is about Terrence West, and questions are arising what his role is going to be for this team. Now, if you guys know, the Ravens have a lot of running backs on the roster right now. Usually the Ravens only carry 3 running backs to game day. But right now, you're going to have 5 with Terrence West coming back and being healthy. You guys have players. It's so crowded, actually. So let's just go through them. You got Alex Collins, right, who is playing phenomenally and needs more carries. Marty and John, give that man more carries, okay? Help him feed his family. Get him more carries. So you have Alex Collins. You have Buck Allen, who is performing out of his mind. I think he's performing the best he can perform, and he's very, very good in the receiving game. You have Danny Woodhead. We know what Danny Woodhead can do in the receiving game, so he won't get cut, and plus the Ravens are paying him, so I don't, a lot more money than the others, so he won't get cut. And then you have Terrence West, who's been injured, and we don't know where he's going to go. And lastly, Bobby Rainey, who plays returner, and you need him now because Campanero is hurt. So who gets cut? You can't cut Alex Collins because he's playing the best football of any offensive player on the Ravens. So you can't cut him. You can't cut Buck Allen because Buck Allen is playing very well for you. And if you cut him for Terrence West, I would be upset because even when Terrence West was healthy, he was outplaying him. So you can't cut him. You can't cut Bobby Rainey because you need a return man, and Bobby Rainey is a great return man this season and is one of the best, yards per return guys in the league right now. And so if you release him, some other team will get him. So you can't let go of Bobby Rainey. And Danny Woodhead, you can't let go of Danny Woodhead because you're paying him the most money. So where does Terrence West fit? I don't know. I think it's a great question to ask. He said he didn't know. I'm sure Marty Morningwig knows, but isn't going to tell us. So you guys have as good as a guess as anybody else in the world. So let me know in the comments below what you think Terrence West's new role will be, or if he'll be on the Ravens next year. It's kind of getting to that point. So we're going to move on to the mailbag question of the day, and this is sponsored by the Raven Space Patreon and our patrons. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the reason this is all possible. With your support, I can, not go into bankruptcy, so I appreciate that. So if you guys can see if you want to be a part of the Raven Space Patreon, the Raven Space family, check the description below. Now, the mailbag question comes from D. Ellington, and he asks, going into next season, how would you rank our offensive needs in the draft from first to last? Thank you so much for your question, and I think I would rank them like this. 1, you have to get a receiver. You have to get a playmaker to help Joe Flacco. Free agency is bereft of these playmakers. You need a guy that you can have on your team for 4 years that can make plays for 4 years. And you're not going to find it in free agency. You have to go to the draft. I don't care what the Ravens do. They better find a way to help Joe Flacco. They said they were going to help Joe Flacco. They did not. They need to find a way to help Joe Flacco because he needs it. So receiver would be my number 1 option. Number 2 would be offensive line. Help Joe Flacco by making sure he's not on the ground. We're next season, if we get Yonder back, Jensen and Stanley, we're 2 pieces away from a great offensive line. So do what you got to do, make it happen, and help us out. But you can do that through free agency. So those are the first 2. Those are the must-haves. 3, I would say tight end. I'm disappointed in our tight ends. Our best tight end is a 36, 37-year-old man. And he's about to retire, so we have to get somebody in there to help out. And then before Ben Watson was the starter, our starter was a receiver who's had 3 surgeries. So, I mean, a tight end that has had 3 surgeries. So that shows you how great our tight ends are. Now, the last 2 you can interswap them: quarterback, running back. I say quarterback because it's the most important position, and running back is the least important position on offense. So that's what I would go. You know, that's just the way it is. Sorry, running backs, but they pay you the least because you're not worth the most. So we're going to go to the comment of the day. And this is another good segment. If you guys want to enter the comment or the mailbag, please use the comment section below. And this comment comes from Jamar, and he says, "How much y'all want to bet we draft another defensive tackle come summertime?" And I picked this one because this is my fear of everybody, that we go defense again instead of offense. And I would cry, and I would be a sad person, and I just don't know. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I really do enjoy it. I really do helping you guys get the best Baltimore Ravens news as a public servant to you guys. So thank you guys so much. Again, please subscribe to Ravens Space on YouTube. Thank you so much to our Patreon subscribers. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, you want to support, you can check out the Ravens Space shop, or you can share this video and help us, you know, spread the Ravens Space and grow our community. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.